we are in for a treat today. We have been listening to stories of the community, and today we have Alice Cooper here, and she has an exciting story to tell us, and we are anxiously anticipating that. But first of all, Miss Alice, can you tell us a couple things about yourself?
Sure, Miss Tanya. I can tell you a few things. I am the director of the Lancaster Community Library, and I live with my husband John here in Kilmarnock, and I'm also a council member in the town of Kilmarnock.
Very good. And so what we have been doing is talking to the community about stories that we remember, or even stories that we exchange with our family when we all get together, either for a family reunion or cookout. We all seem to gather around in one spot and we tell stories about childhood or something. And, you know, we always learn something new about our family members when we do so. So we are anxiously awaiting to hear your story.
Thank you, Miss Tanya. Well, the story that came to my mind was a story from my school library. So, when I went into third grade, my dad got a new job and we moved to Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And we happened to move into a community that had a brand new school.
Mm.
My dad, before we moved, showed us the picture of the school and he asked us what we thought it was, and we all thought it was an airport. It had a great big entrance with a driveway and it was all flat, you know, one story, and he laughed and said that that was our new school.
Mm.
So I went into third grade and my teacher was Mrs. King. And there was a lovely new school library, but the librarian was really mean. She was really mean. Everybody was afraid of her.
So she was the typical librarian that everyone is afraid of. The ones that used to be, right? Okay.
Yes.
So we can visualize that.
Yes, she was really mean and we were all afraid to talk to her. But there was a story that I really wanted to read.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided that I was going to ask her what the story was that I wanted to read if the library had the book. So there is a story about the Headless Horseman. And so I practiced and practiced and practiced this, the librarian. Could you find for me this book about the Headless Horseman?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was so nervous, and I walked up to the librarian, and in third grade, and I asked, "Do you have the horseless headman?" And she looked at me and she said, "What?" And I was so embarrassed, I just walked away and I did not get my book. So I'm very happy to say that it certainly was an inspiration working in libraries now to make sure that everyone feels welcome at the library. And having had not a very nice experience when I was young, it has certainly inspired me to make this library very welcoming, and I'm so happy with Miss Tanya and the Children's Department and Miss Liza, and everyone who works in the Children's Department ensures, I think, that everyone here feels welcome and they get what they ask for.
That's right, you get the book. Now, so did you ever get a chance to read the book?
I did.
Okay,
I did read the book.
Okay. I could imagine that stuck with you all day. Since you practiced so long, just to say that one little
And
sentence.
I just turned it right around.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Well, that is certainly interesting. Did you ever tell your parents?
Oh no, I was too embarrassed at that time.
So that is one of the stories that probably went Miss Alice get with her family. You know, all families have. I bet you didn't know this, and that's one of the stories you could bring up. So I bet you guys didn't know when I was in the third grade. What I did this, that, and so. That was so
yeah. And I'm sure all my siblings had this same school librarian, so
Oh,
they would know
So
very
they
well.
could relate to her.
Mhm.
Probably nobody had the book they wanted.
That's right.
She had a very well organized bookshelf because no one took a book out. They was all afraid to ask her about the book.
Yes.
Well, not here. We don't do that. We
No.
try to accommodate you as much as
Yes.
possible, and we try to have very good customer service for our little guys or big guys, so you can get the book you want. Well, thank you for sharing that story with us. We're gonna always remember that. Whenever we don't feel like being happy, we're gonna remember the third grader who didn't get the book that she wanted, and we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen here.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss
Thank
Tanya.
you, thank you. If you have a story that you would like to share with me, you know where to find me, because I'm sure that book about something that happened in school may be brought to my story that happened to you when you was in school. I know you're out there. Please find me. Come sit in this chair. We'll keep the spot nice and warm for you, and that way you'll be able to share a story, because every time you tell a story, it makes that story so much greater, and it's a story that can be passed down from generation to generation. Because guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell Miss Alice's story to someone I know about how she didn't get that book when she was in the third grade. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.